Hey, what's going on everybody? My name is Cruz and this is my first full-length video of 2023. I'm super excited. Today we're going to be giving you an updated studio tour of this very room that I'm sitting in right now. Let's get it! Before we officially get started, I want to give a quick shout out to One Another clothing brand. They sent me this sweater specifically to wear on the channel. They didn't pay me to do this. They didn't even ask for a shout out. They just wanted me to wear it. But I'm gonna go as far as to giving them a shout out. The sweater feels amazing. The quality, the felt, everything about it is really cool. But more importantly, the message behind the brand itself, behind this specific line. I want you to go visit their Instagram, check them out. I'll put their Instagram handle below in the description box as well as somewhere on the screen so you can check them out. Make sure you let them know that I sent you. And if you're interested in purchasing their clothes, send them a DM so they could talk details with you and let you know how you can purchase your One Another clothing. All right, we have a lot to cover in this video, so without further ado, let's get started. These studio tours have become very sentimental to me. Why? Because it all started back in January, the first week of January of 2021. Hey, what's going on everybody? My name is Cruz and welcome back to another video. New space. I'm super excited about it. Check it out. I'm going to show you how I transform this room into this space that I'm in right here, right now. That was the first video that I uploaded with the absolute intention of uploading consistently, really taking YouTube seriously. I did an updated studio tour around this time last year for 2022, but now here we are, January 2023, and I could think of no better way to start this year off than by paying homage to the very first video that I uploaded 2 years ago, almost to the day. In case you don't know, this is a very small room that started off as a utility closet. I opened the door and immediately got a vision of what could be, and to be honest with you, I wasn't entirely sure if I could achieve it. I thought it might just be a little bit too small, too limited of a space, but I didn't care. I just felt like I had a passion in me and I wanted to pursue it. Because this room is so small, it's imperative that I use every inch of space wisely. So that included hanging up hooks and wire holders so that I can essentially have accessible wires without them being in the way. I wanted to have access to a certain amount of guitars that I could rotate on a weekly basis, but I didn't want them on a stand because the stands are so bulky and getting in the way. So I ended up mounting them and it was the best thing that I could have done. I have one shelving unit that I use to keep various accessories, camera accessories, and tools and things of that nature that I need access to very, very quickly. But as you can see, I keep everything in bins hidden very nicely, and I even utilize the shelf to hold a guitar amp. That is the Fender Blues Junior, which I have plugged in and ready to go just in case I need it at any given moment. There's also a small little desk that it's always behind me holding some books and accessories, but if you look underneath that desk, I have a Marshall. I often get messages with people asking me about my video quality and what I used to film here on a weekly basis, so I think it's important to discuss that stuff, even if it's just to touch on it very, very quickly. You can't really discuss camera gear without addressing lighting first, so let's talk about the lighting that I use here in the studio. I used to have 4 points of lighting. I've since changed that method to accommodate the room, so that neon sign behind me reflects so much light. I don't feel the need to have any sort of rim lighting because all of that lighting reflects on me altogether. So you can literally see it on my shoulder right now, reflecting that bluish tint. But I do have two lights that I use to light all of my videos. The light that's mounted just above me on my right hand side, that is a Generate LED panel light, and that's more used for a fill light. But then I have my key light mounted just above my left hand side, and it's sort of more center, and it is my main form of lighting, and that is the Godox SL60. It's a little bit more of an affordable version of some of the more higher or more well-known brands that are out there. I'm still using what I have dubbed my YouTube studio rig here. I just don't use all of the components on it at all times. Main thing that I use on the YouTube rig is my camera, obviously, and the screen that allows me to see myself while I'm filming. Though I have a mic and a Generate LED light mounted on there, I don't have them on. That's for when I'm filming on the go. I can use that setup as opposed to using my kind of already set up that really isn't movable in this room. That brings us to the main portion of the studio, which is of course the studio desk, which a lot of you are here to see. So my setup is somewhat humble and limited, but it gets the job done. I get questions about this all the time. What studio desk do I have? People seem to think it's a actual studio desk, and I see how it may come off like that on camera, but I hate to burst your bubble, it is not. When I first built this room, I was keen on just using shelves because I wanted to save as much space as I possibly could, and I didn't want anything on the floor, meaning any kind of table legs. But over time, especially as I was recording and working here on a daily basis, I found that I was in need of desk space. So it is a little bit of a hybrid rig in the sense that I'm still using one of the shelves, but instead of having a shelf here as my main portion of the desk, I just put a table underneath there. The shelf is currently holding my massive Dell Curve monitor, which I absolutely love. It was gifted to me. I didn't purchase that thing. Another 2022 blessing. It also has my M Audio Keystation 61 MIDI keyboard, my studio monitors, which are Yamaha HS5s. On my right hand side, I have my iPad Pro. I edit all my photos on that thing, as well as create my thumbnails using Procreate. And then on my left hand side is my laptop. That's a Lenovo Legion 5. I purchased that in the middle of 2021 when I realized that me doing all of these videos and editing, I was gonna have to upgrade a computer. So that's my first upgrade in over 7 years. I also want to point out, mounted on my shelf are 2 mic stands. One is for my main mic here that I currently use for all of my audio in the studio, and that is the Audio-Technica, the AT897 shotgun mic. The other mic stand, though it is a mic stand, it's actually serving a different purpose. Instead of buying like camera stands or like lighting stands, I just converted my mic stands. I just put these accessories on there, these converters, so that I could switch them from either being mic stands and holding mics, or a light or a camera. So that's what I'm currently using that stand for. Those overhead shots for all of my pedal demos that you see on a weekly basis, that's how I'm filming that. It just has given me the opportunity to create a really cool shot that I now can't live without. On the actual desk itself, you mainly see here my interface. This is actually not just a fader port, but it is PreSonus' IO Station 24C. I currently use PreSonus Studio One. I eventually bit the bullet and just invested in the Sphere, which means I pay monthly to have access to all of the Studio One's plugins and so on and so forth. Then we have the Shuttle Express here, which is sort of like my version of the fader port, but for DaVinci Resolve. Then of course we have the Mackie Big Knob. I've mentioned this before. I have never had a studio space that I have either worked in or have been a part of without one of these in them. So yeah, that's just an oversized volume knob. Having so much desk space also allows me to have my pedal board nicely tucked away underneath the desk. I don't want to show you too much of my pedal board though, because I'm actually kind of tinkering with it. So yeah, that's all you get for now. Another thing that I did this year was invest in shelving for my pedals. Being able to grab any pedal that I need to create a video at any given moment has become super convenient for me. So I love having access to all of these pedals. That leads me to some of the other accessories that you see in the room sometimes. You see the photographs that are hanging back here and on the walls. You see some of the inspirational verses that I remind myself and try to encourage myself with, or some of the artwork that, you know, are from my family, such as this King and Folk print here. I posted this on Instagram. I don't know if you could see that. My pick is being firmly held by this squishy ninja. Like, it's the coolest accessory I think that's in my studio at the moment. So that's pretty much it. That's my studio tour of 2023. Before we leave though, I do want to address something. I kind of want to talk about my goals very quickly for 2023. I can't explain it, but I'm so excited about this next season of my life, this next phase of my life. And for whatever reason, I feel like this channel and what I'm doing here on a weekly basis, it's tied to whatever blessing is coming. And at the risk of sounding arrogant or even a straight up jerk, I feel like I've worked so hard on this channel that I do feel like it deserves to be bigger than what the channel actually is. And I'm excited to see how it's gonna grow this year and how it's gonna elevate to the next level. But one thing that's plagued me this year is subscription count. I just feel like I can't break the barrier a little bit. So I checked out what was going on, and it turns out that over 91% of the people who have consumed my content this year are not subscribed. That either means one of two things. Either you saw one of my videos and thought it sucked and never wanted to see me again. I guess that's understandable. Or you're just a casual YouTube viewer, and I understand it because I was the same way at one point. You just watch your YouTube content you enjoy and you move on with your day. But one thing that I realized being on this side is just how important it is for you to kind of give something that doesn't cost you anything. And that's a subscription, a like, a comment on a video, even sharing the video. Those things truly help our videos and our content to reach a different level of platform and to reach an audience that could help us elevate everything that we're doing here on a weekly basis. So I'm begging you from the bottom of my heart, if you haven't taken the opportunity to subscribe here, please take a second, just hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification icon so you get an alert every time I upload a video. Check out some of the affiliate links that I've taken the time to put in the description box below as well, because a lot of the stuff that you're seeing in here that I use on a weekly basis that I talked about in this video are actually down there. So pressing on those links not only show you what I'm using, but even purchasing through those links will help the channel out financially just a little bit. Guys, thank you so much again for watching, for everything you've done in the year 2022. Welcome to 2023. I'm excited. Thank you again. I'll see you next week.